Back again, it's your boy Tysoinspirational back with another video, and today we're covering how important it is to build your credit. So if you have little to no credit, or if you have bad credit, you know better, then today I'm gonna be giving y'all some tips and some things I wish I would have known when I was younger, when I first started my credit journey into building my credit. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, y'all, so heading straight into it, there's three major credit bureaus that your credit will be assessed by. It's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So each of them have different grading scales, how they grade your credit, and how they basically view that is, like I said, each of them have a grading scale, and for example, TransUnion might see something that Experian can't, and Experian sees something on your credit report that TransUnion can't, and vice versa. So 9 out of 10, usually all three of these are not going to have the same credit score. Depending on what credit card you apply for, it'll report to one of these bureaus, and that'll kind of determine what score you'll have. So go right into the credit and loan approval. So the lower your credit is, the less likely lenders will be willing to take you as a risk, since you may have no credit or poor history, which shows lenders you do not have a record or good proof that you will pay them back on time. So basically, this is how this generation is. You know, the show off flex. If you can't really show off anything on your credit, they're not gonna wanna give you anything, essentially. So what you wanna do is build that trust with them. That way, they will be more willing to give you a credit card or approve you for a loan. Some of the things that having good credit does for you is lowers your interest rates. So that's a big plus. You don't want to be sitting there paying 25% interest on anything in life in general. So having good credit, it'll lower that. And like I said, interest is just basically when they give you a loan or credit card, it's basically what they're charging you on top of whatever allotment you're given, depending on the amount you get. So another thing, better car insurance rates. Car insurance costs an arm and a leg. I can tell you that, because starting off, mine was about 300 something a month. So the better your credit, the lower your car interest is. And depending on what car you have, that could also determine how high your interest is. Your driving history is, there's a lot of things that go into that, but having good credit overall will help you lower that. And in some instances, it gives you some kind of negotiation power, whether that be, you know, you going out to the car dealership and you're trying to negotiate a price for the car. Having good credit gives you that leverage on them. Next, we're going to get into is approval on rental houses and apartments. So like it says right there, a good score allows for faster approval process. If you have shitty credit, you are probably going to get denied quick as hell for an apartment or for a rental house. So good thing is to have good credit, and that'll kind of allow them to be able to look at you as a more standout candidate. So if you and say 10 other people are applying for one apartment, the landlord or whoever's in charge of that property, they're gonna go for the person that has the highest credit score, because it only makes the most sense, right? Because that person will be just deemed as the most reliable to give that apartment or property out to. So credit, again, major thing. Gotta have it, gotta want it, gotta get on top of that. Something that I didn't include up there, but utilities. So whenever you do get an apartment or rental house, anything like that, water, electricity, sometimes they'll have you pay what's called a security deposit. And with a security deposit, that basically is in case of whatever reason you're not able to pay, they're going to take out of that security deposit and they'll use that to cover whatever payments they need to be covered. So say if you apply for an apartment, one of the things they're going to do is they're going to ask for a security deposit, because if you break or mess up anything in that apartment when you decide to move out or your lease is up, they're going to use whatever funds out of that towards whatever damage is done. So if you want to get that money back, be on top of your shit. Another thing, cell phone contract. So if you get a cell phone contract, they might, depending on where you go, they might require a security deposit. And with that, that may be refundable depending on where you go. I think just as long as you make all your payments on time, like say you have 12 payments in a year, for example, if you make all 12 of those payments on time, or at least 10 out of 12 of those, then I believe they should be able to give that refund back to you, but don't quote me on that. So some of the factors that go into credit. So biggest one, as you can see, payment history. It's just the payments you made on time. I pride myself in saying that if there's one thing I did make sure I was on top of, is making my payments on time. So if you are making your payments on time, this is probably one of the quickest and easiest ways to build up your credit and to sustain a good credit score. Because when you have late payments and all of that, oh sheesh, that stays on your credit score for, I want to say, up to like 7 years as a negative, and you really don't want that. So please make all your payments on time. Credit utilization, as you can see, how much of money of the credit card have you used? So basically it's just a percentage. So you have a $500 credit card, 10% of that is gonna be $50. So the best margin to keep your credit utilization is as shown right here, 30%. 30% and below, that's beautiful, that's gorgeous, that's a great number to go off of. So between 10 and 30%, if you're keeping your credit utilization at that point, people will see you, lenders and banks, financial institutes, everything like that, they'll kind of see you as disciplined. So you're not, using majority of the money on your credit card and not paying it off. So you want to keep that utilization as low as possible. If you can keep it to zero, honestly, that's even better. And how you do that is basically just whatever you use to pay with the credit card. So say you use it to pay just for food or groceries or gas. Use it to pay those low costing things. And what you do is as soon as you get paid, you pay that off right away. So that way when the credit report comes out, it shows that you didn't even use any of your credit, even though you did, because it'll be on there since the charge will be on there. So credit history, how long you've had your credit. This one, if you're a newbie, you can't really control this. You just kind of gotta go with the flow and go from there. So basically self-explanatory, how long you've had your credit. And this one, it doesn't affect it as much. As you can see, it kind of drops from the 30 and 35 and 30% that we have here. It drops to 15%. So this one isn't too worrisome as far as impact on your credit score. It has a lower impact, but it's still somewhat important. Like I said, it's not really something you can control like that. It just depends on how early you get on the game in credit and how quickly you get started. All right, so next we have mixes of credit. So the different avenues of credit that you can have. So there are installment loans and there's revolving credits. So installment loans, basically just any kind of loan in life that you can think of. Mortgages, student loans, auto loans, and personal loans. All of these are installment loans because they have a begin and end date as far as your payments and how much you have to pay into a certain period or time. And then revolving credit, usually just credit cards. Basically what that entails is it's just something you have to make a minimal payment on monthly, and it doesn't really have an end date as far as like how a loan is. You have it for like a 2-year term or anything like that. It doesn't really have an end date. It's just kind of there forever, but you're just making monthly payments on it. And then last thing is new credit. So New credit is just soft inquiries or hard inquiries, and basically what those are. So soft inquiries, they're reports that usually come up on your credit score, usually from like a background check. So like if you go to apply to a job, they'll kind of do a soft inquiry on you, and these don't necessarily affect your credit score. Now what affects it is this right here. It's called a hard inquiry. So hard inquiry, what that does is it's whenever you apply for a loan, a new credit card, the financial institution, they'll do that check on your credit, which is a hard inquiry. And usually gathering too much of those in a short amount of time is bad because it looks like you're kind of like strung out on money. So you want to kind of keep those as low as possible. And I think they last onto your credit report for about 2 years. So like I said, yeah, keep those as low as possible. As far as credit, that's all I got. And I just want to kind of give y'all, for the newbies and the people that are just starting, what you can do is go to Credit Karma and you can kind of sign up for an account. Couldn't let y'all see my credit score, but so what you can do is you can head over straight to Top Picks, and you'll see all the different kind of credit cards they have here. For a person that's just starting off with little to no credit, or if you have bad credit, you want to go to Secured. And oh wow, that's trash. So they playing games with me right now. Sorry y'all, but usually it'll have options right there. But what you want to do is come right over here and you'll see based on these gauges how good or bad it will be for you to try to apply for one of these. What you want to do is try to apply for the one that has the highest approval odds for you. And whenever you do try to apply for that, it'll have the apply now, kind of show you all the things that you'll get when you get this credit card. Tell you about the annual fees, and then it'll kind of go into what happens if you have late payments and a couple other things. So if you have little to no credit, Secure credit card is the way to go. This isn't a secure credit card, of course, but what a secure credit card basically is it's a credit card that helps you build credit. So what you want to do is whenever you apply for that, they'll probably ask for a minimum of a $200 deposit. And some lenders, they'll give you up to $500 in credit line. And basically what you want to do with that is spend as little as possible with that. And like I said, keep it under that 30% and just make sure you're making your monthly payments on time and try to pay a little bit over. So if the bare minimum is like $25 a month, try to bump it up to $50 if you can. That way it shows that you're able to handle the minimum payment and you're doing more than just that. All right, so that's all I got for y'all. Get y'all credit right. Please do. Because we're going to be financially correct around here. We get into the bag all around. Alpha out. Y'all take care of yourselves.